Hello friends, welcome once again to my channel Blessend Crochet. On this occasion, I'm going to show you how to knit this beautiful blanket. Is a beautiful blanket with a very subtle and beautiful finish. I had already shown you how to knit this beautiful stitch. For people who did not see the video of how to make a simple loop with your hands, I will leave you here at the bottom of the description. How to make a loop in just about 2 minutes or less. Look how beautiful this blanket looks. Is a blanket woven in stitch 3T. Look how beautiful. Looks like this blanket. With this stitch embossed. Who had also shown them how to weave it. And before starting, I want to thank you that you decided to leave me as a support, a like for this video. Thank you very much, because thanks to you, this channel remains standing. For me it is a great blessing. If you can support me, please leave me a like for each video I share with you. We start with the materials. For this project I will use this type of material. Is a number 3 wool. It is this type of material that I am going to use. Remember, it is not necessary that you use the type of material I am using. I can use Crystal Brisa by Component. You can use any omega. For example, omega number 6. You can use any type of material you have close to home. And above all, to fit your nurse's needs. Let's use a 4mm number 4 crochet. Up to this stitch I have 170 chain stitches. I am going to start. I make one more chain stitch. And in the first chain stitch I knit a stitch low, a stitch chain. I'm going to pass a space, and in the one that follows, start knitting double crochet 1, 2, 3, 1 for each space. Chain stitch, I pass a stitch without knitting, and in the one that follows, start knitting 1, 2. Trace chain stitch. I pass a stitch, and in the next one I start knitting 1, 2. Three chain stitch, I pass a stitch and repeat 1, 2. Trace chain stitch. I pass a stitch and repeat this same process again until the end of this round. And this is how it will look like. I show you how I started. And so I continued to the end. Here I already have these 3 stitches. In this space I make a chain stitch, and in the last chain stitch, unsingle stitch, 1, 2, 3 chain stitches, twist, and where I have the chain stitch, double crochet. I'm going to go 1, 2. And in stitch number 3, I'm going to take it like this. And I knit a single stitch. 1, 2, 3 chain stitches. Step to where I have this space of the chain stitch. Y teju 3 double crochet 1, 2. And 3, I pass 2 stitches without knitting, and in this last stitch of the 3 I take it in stitch relief. 1, 2, 3 chain stitches. And where I have the chain stitch I leave 3 double crochet 1, 2. And 3 again, step 1, 2, and I make the union with a stitch. and relieve on single stitch. 1, 2, 3 chain stitches. And in this same space where I have my chain stitch, 3 double crochets 1, 2 and 3. I move on to the next one where I have my third stitch. Embossed and stitch embossed. 1, 2, 3 and on the chain stitch 1, 2 and 3 double crochets. And so, I will continue to weave all this second round. 1, 2, 3 and on the chain stitch 3 double crochets. And look how easy it is to weave. Step 2 stitches. And the third in double crochet relief. Perdón single stitch 1, 2, 3 chain stitches. Now 3 double crochets. And that's what it's going to look like in this second round. And this is how we start our round number 2. And that's how I continued to weave to this space. Yes, then, we are going to skip these 3 stitches to finish. And where I have the single stitch, you will remember this single stitch that was the beginning of the, well, there. I knit a single stitch. So we are passing this space 1, 2, 3 chain stitches. Tour. And I'm going to knit here in this space before the stitches. You can do it in this stitch or you can do it here. Double crochet I'm going to pass. 1, 2 and in the third. In the third stitch before the chain stitches. Embossed and a single stitch 1, 2, 3 chain stitches. And on chain stitches. 3 double crochet 1, 2 and 3. Step. This space here I have the chain stitches. Well then in the third stitch 1, 2 stitch number 3. There I knit a single stitch 1, 2, 3 chain stitches. And I pass where I have the chain stitches. And there I start to knit 1, 2. 3 double crochets. And I go 1, 2, 3 in the third one. Three chain stitches and on the chain stitches 3 double crochet 1, 2. 3 I pass. Here 1, 2 and in stitch number 3. Which is before the chain stitches. Here we will reach to see. What is the stitch we are going to take? Or what are we going to weave? Yes, then here I have it and I repeat single stitch again. 1, 2, 3 chain stitches and chain stitches. 3 double crochets and I repeat. Step 1, 2 and stitch number 3. Single stitch 1, 2, 3 and I leave the 3 stitches. High chain stitches. And I repeat again. And I will repeat this all round. And what do you think of this stitch? So easy and simple. We are weaving this elegant project. And at this moment I am going to ask you to support me by sharing this video if you liked it with your relatives, friends in your Facebook groups. And I will also be very grateful. Leave me a like for this video as support. Remember that by leaning on me with those little hands on top. For me it will be very helpful. For me to continue creating content as beautiful as this one. For you I continue the whole round. I am about to finish the round. I will take 1, 2 and in the third one. Stitch relieve. 1, 2, 3 chain stitches. And on chain stitches. 3 double crochets. And I'm going to stop by here. where I have the last stitch. And we can put it on the chain stitch. Or we can put it inside the stitch. Where you prefer, yes. I am going to place it like this. In this way. A single stitch 1 2 3 chain stitches twist, and I'm going to stop by here. In this space, yes. Before the 3 stitches. Double crochet, I pass 1 2 and in stitch number 3. Single stitch and relieve 1 2 3. And on the chain stitches I begin to knit. 1 2 3 double crochet. Step 1 2 and on the third stitch. Single stitch and relieve 1 2 3. Chain stitches, teju 1 2 3 double crochet. And this I will repeat the whole round again. 1 2 and on stitch number 3 in relief single stitch. 1 2 3 chain stitches. And I repeat. This. It is already my round number 4. Yes, 1 2 3 and 4. And look how beautiful this relief is already looking. I am going to finish the round. I am about to finish this round. And we are going to do this same process. Trace chain stitches, trace double crochet. And I'm going to stop by where I have these last 2 stitches. Well, then in the last stitch I have a single stitch 1 2 3. Twist, and before the stitches is where I knit the double crochet. Step 1 2 and on the third stitch. Single stitch and relieve. Trace chain stitches, and I repeat again on the chain stitches the same process. And so I will continue to weave round after round. I'm going to get a little ahead of myself and return to continue with the process, and this is how it will look like in the edge part, and look at how beautiful our project already looks. Good. I show you everything I have already said about this one. And everyone will leave the length they need. Now how are we going to continue working on the edge? Let's see, I am here to finish. I'm going to try to make it look better, eh? Let's move on. Here to close. This is the last stitch I make. I knit a single stitch, and instead of knitting these 3 chain stitches, 1 2 3 spin. And start weaving. What I'm going to do is, here in this first space, to weave it from around 3 double crochets. I move on to the next single stitch. Trace chain stitches. In the same space. 3 double crochets. And I go to the next one with single stitch. I repeat 3 chain stitches in this same space. 3 double crochets. And I go to the space that follows. And so I will continue to weave. Look in every space or double crochet I'm going to knit 1 reason 3. And move on to the next. It is appreciated. And this I'm going to weave it until you reach this stitch. What is the bottom part? I show you up to this stitch. I have already finished. If you notice, look at how it is turning out. as a motif on each round or on each double crochet. Now I'm going to stop by at the end where I have the last stitch. I leave a single stitch. 3 chain stitches in the same space. 3 double crochets. I pass 2 stitches without knitting. Here I am in the corner. And at the last stitch teju. Single stitch embossed 3 chain stitches and I repeat again. On chain stitch 3 double crochet. Stitching and double crochet. The third single stitch in relief. 3 chain stitches and I continue knitting. 2 3. In relief. 3 chain stitches, and this is how we started at the beginning. We'll remember how we started this stitch. Well, this is how we will continue to weave. Once arrived. At this stitch we will do the same process. Let's go up. And to continue weaving. The next round you can place 2 3 4 5 rounds. Look at how, for example, I'm done here. This the row where we started knitting our stitch. Step 2, and teju the next one in stitch relief. 3 chain stitches, and here in the last space. I continue weaving. I'm going to pull out a little bit of thread because it has gotten tangled up in this part. Now I continue to weave. 3 double crochets. Step to the next. Single stitch space. Trace chain stitches, trace double crochet. And now I continue to the top. And at the same time I lose this little piece of wool that is remaining. Yes, look how beautiful it is. With these piquitos here around this beautiful blanket. Good in this case. As for blankets for children, is a little more complicated to obtain. This is an excellent option. Here to finish. I'm going to stop by here, not over the chain stitches, but on the stitch. And we can knit a slip stitch. I can withdraw my material and lose this little piece of wool that has remained. I want to show you how beautiful it has turned out. I'm not going to make you an extra edge. I want to show you what this border looks like. Yes, then that's how I'm going to leave it. I will not add to it how I just comment on it. To this project, you can add 2 or 3 or 4 rounds, depending on your tastes, and above all because of your needs. And what do you think of this beautiful project? You can use this project for any event you have. Either baptism, magnificent presentation, to give some detail to a very special person. And this is how the final result turned out. For its decoration, I have made this bow that I had already shown them how to do it with your hands. Down here in the description box, I will leave you the link so you can see how to make this bow with your hands. It just comes out by it in your hands very fast. Very practical. You are going to do it in just a few seconds. And I have placed these laces here so that you can look here for in this part of the blanket. This is how easy this blanket is. And I would like you to leave me your comment. What did you think of this blanket? I have placed an elephant here. For it to be for children, yes. But you can add some other type of decoration. And this is how the final result turned out of this beautiful blanket. With this I say goodbye. As usual, I hope you liked it. If you liked it, support me by sharing on your social networks. Don't forget to subscribe to this Blessend Crochet channel. Activate the notification bell. And leave me a like in support. for this video. See you in the following tutorial.